Thank you everybody for joining. Sorry for the late notice. I normally try to send an email out in the morning to let everybody know about our Q&A today. I know we had to skip last week. I've been extremely busy. I do apologize for it, but I do have a lot of offline work, and that is keeping me out of the internet because I'm doing some training on for a project that I'm doing, and it's definitely had me going through all the different malls and training all the sales associates on this new rollout product that this company is delivering. So I really appreciate everybody's patience. So today's topic, I'm just going to try to have a one type of topic in the Q&A, and in this Q&A we're going to talk about how to maintain focus. So here's some of the questions that I have received. Okay, so our first question is, I need help staying on focus. What are some good tips in making sure I get my work done and not waste any time? Okay, so the answer, it's one of the things that it probably helped me out to know is make your task list. You know, everybody knows make a task list, but I find that if I make a task list before I go to bed, that when I wake up, I can immediately know exactly what I need to do because my task list is already completed. Prior to that, I did it in the morning, right before my day started. And I think probably most people have the same similar mindset. You get to work or you sit in your desk and you go ahead and put your to-do list. Now, I found myself literally taking about 30 minutes just to even do the to-do list, and I don't think that is productive enough because it's so funny. It's like right before bed, I got this long list of things I think about doing, and I say, okay, I need to make sure I write it down in the morning. And most of the times I end up forgetting about it. So what I found was if I make my to-do list prior to going to bed, I'll have it, as soon as I wake up, I have it fresh in my mind and ready to go and ready to bang out my work. Now, when you have your task list, what you want to do is you want to knock out the easiest ones first. So do all the smallest and the easiest tasks and get those out of the way, and then you want to focus on the more hard or difficult tasks. I find that method is much easier because I feel a much more sense of accomplishment when I get rid of the smaller tasks. Because what happens if I just focus on the harder tasks, I might be working on it 2 hours, and then I get frustrated. It's like, oh wow, my list is not even shrunk. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a more of a motivational factor as well, to see that you eliminate a lot of the easy tasks. Now, as soon as you get this one hard task done, you're done for the day. Okay. Second, don't answer emails in the morning. Oh, I know this is probably a real difficult thing because I found myself rolling out of the bed, checking my email on my phone, see what was going on. And let me tell you, it's not that important to answer your emails right then and there in the morning, because what's going to happen is you're going to try to answer an email. You don't waste about 30 minutes trying to respond to that email before you even start brushing your teeth to get out of bed. So try to stay disciplined and avoid reading those emails in the morning. Number three, don't socialize. Working online is just like you working on an office job. You can get distracted by socialization. Now, when say like you in your office and you're trying to do your work, and one of your coworkers come and sits in your desk, and you're chit-chatting about what happened at the football game last night, that could be a distraction, and you probably wasted 15-20 minutes, talking about the football game last night, and now you're behind on your work. And when you're in the office, you might be trying to get some drink of water, getting a cup of coffee, and then now you're chit-chatting with your coworker in the break room. Okay. Now this scenario is quite similar and can be the same when you're working online, and that would usually include hanging out in forums, Skype, instant messaging, Facebooking. I mean, Facebooking for work is one thing, but Facebooking just to socialize and see what's going on with friends and family members. Those are what we call time wasters. You want to just try to avoid those time wasters, okay? Because pretty soon, it might not feel like it was took a long time, but time goes by really fast when you're socializing. Okay, so be very aware of it. The fourth, stop following the shiny objects. And basically, what this means is you're probably on a lot of email lists from a lot of different people or so-called gurus. Okay, and you might be, especially like WSOs. You're probably getting somebody pushing another WSO, and then you click on the link, and now you're interested. And now you wasted 30 minutes trying to figure out if you want to buy this or not. Okay, that's what the shiny objects is. Okay, now here's the thing: all those shiny objects are just really rehashed, just packaged in a different way that makes it more interesting and more appealing. Okay, they're not going to be something that I suggest you focus on. Now, if you want to block out a certain time of day to review some of the things that you've seen before, you can do that, but you're going to have to get your work done first. Okay, it's very important that you get your work done first. Then you can start researching, thinking about if you want to add a different method. But I suggest you avoid those. Focus on what you know. Try to enhance on the things that you already know, so you can be more productive. Lastly, get Rescue Time. RescueTime.com is a very, very cool tool. Like every week, it tells me exactly how many hours I'm spent doing what, and I can pinpoint and figure out what I need to focus on more. Okay, it tells you, if you're looking at a lot of news sites or you're looking at a lot of celebrity sites, avoid those time wasters. Now, and it can tell you what things that you need to focus on. Now, I guarantee the more you put time on your work, the more money you're going to make. Okay, now unless you're some kind of celebrity blogger or a news blogger that talks about the latest things that's happening in politics, if you're not one of those, then you're not making then you need to focus on what makes money in your business. Okay, because everything else, it's not going to help you. It's just a distraction, and I suggest you try to avoid many of those distractions as possible. Alright, question is, what are some good books or blogs to read to help me stay focused and improve my work? Here's the answer. Probably one of the most important books for internet marketers, or just any business in general, or business entrepreneur, is The 4-Hour Workweek. 4-Hour Workweek was written by Tim Ferriss. That he kind of revolutionized the way you outsource, and that became a real big buzz, because normally when people think about outsourcing is when major companies just sends out a call center to India or the Philippines. What he talked about is you personally can outsource the work that you typically do on a regular basis. That includes like making appointments with the dentist, buying airplane tickets, trying to figure out where to go on a date. All that stuff could be outsourced. Literally, you can have a personal assistant, or what he mentions a VA, virtual assistant, and they can manage all those mundane, boring tasks that could take a long time for you. And you can hire a VA that pay them $1 or $2 an hour, and they can do all those tasks, and then that will free up more time, so you can focus on more things that will make you more productive and make more money for you. Okay. Second book, another book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That is written by Stephen Covey. This book has been written a long time ago, and it's probably another standard book for business people. And he had mentioned one of the things that I talked about in the task earlier. Okay, so later on the slides, I'm going to go ahead and go into more details what the 7 habits of highly effective people are, and I'm going to do the same with the 4-Hour Workweek. Okay, lastly, we're trying to be more productive and without wasting a lot of time. Now, what I suggest is what I call audiobook. Listen to an audiobook while driving. It's also known as Automobile University, and that looks like I spelled university wrong. Okay, now many of you commute to work. That's about maybe like 30 minutes, 30 minutes or even an hour to work. Okay, so instead of listening to your radio station or what your top R&B or country music or whatever music you listen to, or maybe even talk radio, those things are not going to help you make more money. Okay, those once again, those are time wasters. So what I suggest is download all these audiobooks. You got 4-Hour Workweek audiobooks, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People audiobook, several other audiobooks. Upload them to your iPod or your Android phone, and just play. Either if you connect them to your speaker system and your car radio, or just be low tech and just get some headphones and put them on and listen to your headphones while you're driving. Okay, use those time to study upon your study on the books while you're driving, and then therefore you don't have to physically read read the books. I mean, I do read books, but I find that listening to audiobooks is more effective and it's more convenient in my time. Now, many people can't multitask like that. I mean, I've even tried to listen while I'm sleeping, and it's amazing sometimes how your brain can handle multiple tasks. Because I find myself doing something, and for some strange reason, I remember something out of the blue. I don't recall how I know it, but I said it like I did really know it. And later on, I thought about it. It's just that I was probably listening to an audiobook without actively listening. It was like your subconscious mind was absorbing all the information, and that happens like while you sleep. I think that's it's really true that if you listen to these audiobooks while you're sleeping, your subconscious mind can absorb some of that information. So think about that. Even like while you're driving, you might not necessarily be attentive and focused on listening, but don't be surprised how your mind can absorb a lot of that information without actively listening. Okay, so you could be listening to the audiobooks and doing your work at the same time, and multitask and be effective at both ends, absorbing the information and doing your work. So take advantage of some of that free time that you have, or add it within your existing work. Okay, and you're going to see a definite improvement on your habits and your skills just by doing that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just briefly talk about 4-Hour Workweek. Like I said, it was written by Tim Ferriss, and one thing he talks about is take time to study to become an expert. Now and one of the things he mentioned is the audio university, like what I suggested. Okay, now it might be easier said than done, but the reason why sometimes that you might not be able to absorb that information is because you probably got a lot of junk in your head, a lot of useless facts and useless news that's not really going to help you at all. So what he suggests is you take a 30-day media fast. Now, what 30-day media fast it means is avoid news sites on the internet. Avoid CNN, MSNBC, ABC News. Don't watch TV for 30 days. Because let me tell you, like, you could watch, say like you want to watch The Office, which is one of my favorite shows. You watch The Office. Now the next day you're at your job or you talking to somebody and they ask, hey, did you see The Office? And next thing you know, you wasted 30 something minutes on watching The Office. So that's something that take really. Okay, let me make sure I ain't got no problems. Okay, I think I'm back on track. Okay, yeah. So just take a media fast. Just avoid any type of news media, any type of TV show. I mean, even sports. Just avoid those for 30 days. Now you're going to be surprised. Like, once you eliminate all that junk out of your head, I mean, who cares about how many yards so and so ran last week in a game? That right there is not going to help you make money unless you're a sports blogger. Okay. So if you're not a sports blogger, then you don't need that information. Now what happens is once you remove all that junk information, then you're easily more you're easily more able to absorb more of the information that you're going to get from listening to audiobooks like 7 Habits and a 4-Hour Workweek. Okay. So delegate your work. It's also like outsourcing. So if you're able to outsource, or you're able to have a friend, another member that you work real close with, you want to exchange type of work. You know, something like, hey, you do this link building, and I'll create these profiles, or I'll write one article. If you could backlink me 10, you know, do that. Okay, barter. And that's how you become more productive. Okay, so if you don't got the funds to outsource or train somebody, then barter with some of your your co-members in your group. Okay, another thing that he really focused on was the 80-20 rule. Now, 80-20 rule means 20% of the things that you, well, let me backtrack. The way an 80-20 rule came is it was this philosopher. He was in Italy, Italian philosopher, a long time ago. I think it was like the 1700s or what. He found out that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the people. So and then he found out that the 80-20 rule, you know, happened in other forms besides just property. So whatever the task is, so if it's 100% of a task, if you focus on 20% of it, it would actually do 80% of the work. Okay? So to do this, I want you to think about, most of you guys had like a college education or high school, and you had to do a term paper, you know, write a term paper. Now, it's so crazy that most of you guys would do more work when it's like the night before or 2 days before. And what happens is your brain becomes hyper-focused, and you become really in tune, and you block out any other distraction, and you stay focused, and you'll be able to finish that term paper. Now, if you could take that same mentality and do it in the beginning and become hyper-focused, you get your work done much faster. And the method is called batching. So in other words, so if you're going to do your emails, and if you had 100 emails, rather than spreading out those 100 emails and doing like 2 or 3 an hour, or responding an hour that happens instantly, you take the last hour of the day and you focus on responding all those emails in a really fast method. And you do it at the end of the day, because say like if you're about to clock out of work at 5 o'clock and you started at 4, you're going to work as fast as possible so you can get out in time before 5 o'clock. Your mind is going to be hyper-focused. Okay? So think about that. You know, get your mind right. I mean, it's just like going back to the studying analogy. If you study for an exam, you know, you'll find out that the night before, or even a couple hours before your exam, it seems like you're able to study much better. That's because, like, once again, your brain is hyper-focused. Okay? So focus on the 80-20 rule. Right? So the next one is, next book I'm going to briefly talk about is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, I'm not going to go over all these things. I'm going to go ahead and upload them to the website, to the blog, and link it from the videos for people that couldn't make it. You know, I'll upload it to the YouTube video section in the archive so you guys can read it, and then I'm going to let you download. But basically, these are something I swiped from Wikipedia. But one of the things that I want to explain to you, one of the main subjects of Stephen Covey's book of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is the story of the goose that laid the golden egg, which is like a big theme of the book. And for all you guys don't know, it's an old children's story, and the way it goes is a farmer had this goose that laid golden eggs. Okay, so and it was an amazing thing. He didn't know how you do it, but every time he laid a golden egg, you know, he'll send it and get money and get rich. All right. So after in time, he became very, very, very rich. Okay, and the goose kept on laying the golden eggs. Now, what happened is he became impatient because the eggs wasn't coming out fast enough. So what he did is he killed the bird. He gutted it out, thinking that they got a whole bunch of eggs inside his body, and come to find out he had no golden eggs in the body. Now he doesn't have a goose that won't lay 0 eggs. Okay, so that's the kind of overall theme. It's like an analogy of how we work on life in general, especially with the task of making money. We don't nurture our goose more. We want to be able to get money really fast. So we, in essence, we kill the goose, thinking that we're going to get instant satisfaction. But what happens is you're just going to kill the dream. All right. So, and I probably can, I could probably talk about a whole hour about the formula. It's called P over PC. Okay. P is production, and then the PC is how you care and nurture something in order to get P, which is results. So in this case, P was the eggs, and the PC was the goose that was laying the eggs. Now, in order for the goose to keep on laying those golden eggs, you're gonna have to feed it. You're gonna have to love it. You're gonna have to comfort it. You're gonna have to take care of it, because if you mistreat it, it's not gonna lay those eggs. And then if you kill it, you ain't gonna get no eggs at all. So that's the whole overall theme of the book. So whatever your golden goose is, so say like your bread and butter is YouTube, you need to focus and take care of all the YouTube, your YouTube accounts. Nurture it. Make sure it's getting proper attention. Respond to comments. Be proactive. Nurture your YouTube account. If it's your blog, always be, provide, over deliver on your content. Don't always try to sell, because you end up killing your blog because you're trying to be pitchy all the time. Okay, take care of everything. But yeah, that's the overall theme of 7 Habits of Effective People. So I'll just briefly talk over them. So habit 1 is be proactive. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. Habit 3, put first things first. Habit 4, think win-win. It's very important to think win-win. Just because he talks about when you're a salesman, you always try to get the most out of your clients. But at the end of the day, that's not going to help you in the end, because you want your client to buy from you more. Now, if they feel that they got ripped off and you created a win-lose situation where you got more out of that person than they needed, then there's going to be a lot of animosity, and you won't build and you won't have that relationship. So whenever you're dealing with other people and you're trying to close a deal, always think of a win-win situation. So not only you be happy, they be happy too. Okay. Well, and then habit 5, seek first to understand, then be understood. Habit 6 is synergize. Habit 7, sharpen the saw. Okay. All right. So that would do it. I really appreciate it. Like I said, my project is winding down, so I'm gonna be able to spend more time with you guys online. Just stay focused. Keep up the good work. I really appreciate it. Keep on sending me those emails and Skype messages. I'll try to answer them as quick as possible. And thank you, everybody, and you guys have a good day.